Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul. Fire burning in my soul. Fire, fire, fire. Fire burning in my soul. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere.
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting nations. This is Renaissance Friday. Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
Okay, guys. Good evening. Welcome again to another week of Renaissance Friday. Obviously, right over here, you know it's all about impacting lives and touching, renewing minds. So make sure if you've got your friends, your family, whoever it is that you've got, make sure that they're here. Let them know we're here, we're live. You can join us right over there online and from the Marpe Assembly website. You can pick us up live online on Fire Radio. You can also download the app from the App Store, Apple App Store, Marpe Assembly. So go ahead, tell your friends, tell your family, let them know we're here. We're here this evening, and trust me, the place is lit already. I'm telling you, the energy in the studio, it's like atomic. Huh? You should be sitting in here where I'm sitting, guys. But trust me, share the link. Let your friends know. Let your family know. Let everyone know that we're here. And obviously, the discussions this evening, it's gonna be hot. Trust me, it's gonna be jam-packed. You don't want to miss it, guys. I just want to say good evening to everyone who is online. Go on social media, share the link, let them know we're here. We're on YouTube. Obviously, they can pick us up on the app. Also, you can follow Marpe Assembly as well on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. Just make sure you're sharing the link, guys. Share the link, and let's make sure that you're joining in this conversation this evening. Obviously, I've got a guest, but first thing first, we've got to give thanks because it's none other than the Lord himself that brought us here today. It's not by chance, trust me. If it was by chance, some of us wouldn't be around, but we're here. And trust me, the energy is right and it is tight. So guys, we're just going to play a song just to say, you know, Lord, I thank you. Thank you. But you don't want to miss out. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're here. Renaissance Fridays here, right here. So go ahead. Here we go. The water is troubled. Do you realize that the water is troubled? Do you realize that the time that we're living in, it is troubled, guys? Make sure, tell your friends, tell your family, the time is troubled.
Water is troubled, my friend. Step right in. God's almighty power is moving this hour. No longer stay on dry land. The water is troubled. Believers, step right in.
There you go, guys. Make sure if you know that the water is trouble, make sure you're getting up and you're saying that the water is definitely trouble. Because from where I'm sitting, guys, I can see that the water is trouble. It's trouble everywhere. In the world we're living in, trust me, the cities we're in our workplace, trust me, the water is very troubled, guys. But here we go.
The water is troubled, my friend. Step right in. God's almighty heaven's open door. You know I can't feel at home in this world. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend but thee. If heaven is not my home, then Lord, where could it be? The angels beckon me from heaven's open. You know I can't. In this world, you know I can't. I can't. My mother is away. My mother is away. But most of all, Jesus is away. Angels are waiting. To go home and be with my Lord. So much pain, don't hear. So much heartache, don't hear. And I can't feel at home in this world anymore. One sweet day, I'm going away. I'm gonna leave this world, no more to roam. One sweet day, when life is over. One sweet day, I'm going away. One sweet day, I'm going away. I'm gonna leave this world, no more to roam. One sweet day, when life is over. Oh, one sweet day, I'm going away. One sweet day, I'm going away. I'm gonna leave this world, no more to roam. One sweet day, when life is over. One sweet day, and I'm going. One sweet day, I'm going away. I'm gonna leave this world, no more to roam. One of these mornings, when life is over. Yeah, I'm going away. As I travel through this pilgrim land, there is a friend who walks with me, leads me safely through the sinking sun. It is a Christ of Calvary. This would be my Friday, Lord, each day to help me do the best I can. For I need a light to guide me day and night. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Oh, Daddy Jesus, hold my hand. Oh, I need thee every hour. Through this pilgrim land, protect me by his power. Hear my feeble plea. Oh, Daddy Jesus, look down on me when I kneel in prayer. Hope to meet you there, blessed Jesus. Hold my hand. Oh, Daddy Jesus, hold my hand. You know I need thee every hour. Through this pilgrim land, protect me by his power. Oh, a fever plea. Oh, Daddy Jesus, look down on little
anytime, anywhere.
Think it over before you go. Think it over before you go. Think it over before you walk away and leave. Think it over. Yeah, think it over before you go. Sweet over my soul. Sweet over my soul. Though the road in life is rough, Jesus, sweep over my soul.
Touches lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
My, Jesus. Over my soul. Though the road in life is rough sometimes, I know you
Over
will.
my
I know you
soul.
can.
My gosh, even though the road get rough at times, sweep over my soul. Anyway, guys, my gosh. Trust me, the vibes, the energy, trust me, you don't want to miss out, guys. And I wouldn't want my friends to miss out. They need to be online. They need to either log on, join on the radio app from Marpe Assembly webpage, or go to the App Store and download the actual Marpe app, and you can connect from there as well. Otherwise, they can join us on YouTube. And also remember, follow us on Instagram and also on Facebook, guys. Anyway, I've seen that you guys are out there. My gosh. What's going on? What's going on here? I just want to say welcome to you all. Welcome to you all online. Remember,
On Fire Radio, anytime, anywhere.
anytime, anywhere, we're always on fire. Doesn't matter what time of the day you catch us, we're always on fire. I just want to say welcome, good evening to Richio, all the way over there, wherever you are. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Mama Janet, Finley, all the way over there in Essex. Good evening to you. Sister Temi P, good evening to you, wherever you are. I'm sure you're up in the building somewhere. But anyway, good evening, my dear sister. And I just want to say good evening to Mama Temi too. Good evening, Mama. Good evening. Sister Maria, good evening to you. Good evening. Sister Shay, good evening to you. Sister Leanne, good evening. Charlene Pia, good evening. My gosh. And none other than our own engineer. I just want to say congratulations to you, sir. Brother Ev, good evening, and congratulations to you and your wonderful wife and your new edition. May God bless you all, sir. Congratulations. Let's put some fire up for Brother Ev. He's always here in the studio helping out, but obviously service is needed elsewhere. So you should, sir. So good evening, sir. Make sure you enjoy the show and see what's going on. My gosh. Good evening to Sakisha all the way as well. Good evening, Brother Nawal. I don't know where you are, whether or not you're in Jamaica or Canada, but good evening. Anyway, wherever you are, good evening to you. Good evening, Sister Jackie. Deaconess Nana, good evening. Chinaso, good evening. Chin, we need you in the studio. Good evening, sir. Good evening. You need to be on duty. Yatunde, good evening. Oh, Mama. Oh, that's Mama Temi right there. Good evening, Ma. Good evening. Sister Amara, London is representing in the building. Good evening. Where is Aristot? Good evening. Asasu, good evening as usual. There we go. The fire all up in the house. Trust me, guys. It's going to be lit. Stevie K, good evening, sir. Good evening. And good evening to wonderful Melania as well. Good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you. Guys, this evening, full of energy, full of vibes. Trust me, in the studio this evening, we've got one of our very own. None other than Mr. Emmanuel Peter. Obviously, he's joined us live here in studio. There you go. You can see him on screen. You can say hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me. Just want to appreciate you for having me on board. I want to say congratulations on what you guys are doing out here. Honestly, if you haven't been in the studio, it is beautiful. And you need to come and see it. So yeah, shout out to Michael, shout out to the media team, Mr. Apia, everybody.
They're doing a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, lovely as well. Thank you so much for taking up the invite as well. It's an honor to have you here. as well, sir. But trust me, this evening I know it's gonna be right. Trust me, and I know that the conversation it's gonna be fruitful because whatever we do, obviously we put God first. So everything else just gonna fall into place. But anyway, I know it's been a long day for you, and I'm not gonna interrogate you. I'm just gonna let you flow anyway. So obviously, I've asked you whether or not you're able to join us on the show, and you've quite kindly says yes, which is great. I appreciate that. So anyway, this evening you're here. We're going to discuss, we during a conversation, we had a discussion around some of the things that we do as Christians that we feel as if they're important and stuff. And I remember we having just a small conversation in regards to you visiting, is it the Holy Land? Yes, the Holy Land. Can you imagine, guys? I always wanted to go to the Holy Land. I don't even know whether or not it's for the right reasons or whatever it is, but I just always wanted to go to the Holy Land to go see where everyone else is walk and go touch where they touch and all of that stuff, isn't it? Because I'm quite, curious. So anyway, we've got a guest in front of us this evening that actually visit that place. So he's going to tell us a bit about his experience and the reasons behind him going actually visiting there. So obviously, Mr. Emmanuel, Mr. Peter. Oh dear. So talk us through, how did you end up sort of like going on that trip and stuff?
Oh, it's a long story, but
Is it?
I'll
We'll
take you
start
through
at the
the journey.
beginning. Yes. Take us through the journey.
So I believe it was a school trip.
Yes.
To start off with. I was going to a Catholic school. Funny enough, it was called Emmanuel Middle School.
Hang on, wait. So you were going to a Catholic school,
Yes.
which was somewhat named after you.
Exactly.
How ironic.
I know, right? I know.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to a middle school called Emmanuel Middle School.
Okay, Manuel Middle School, guys.
Northampton. at the
Okay.
time. I think I was about maybe 13, going on 14, I remember. And then the school had a trip to the Holy Land,
Yeah.
which was only meant to be for people in year 10.
Okay.
I had an older sister, and she was in year 10.
Okay.
I was in like year 8. So during this period, this is when the fight was going on in Israel.
Okay. Okay.
The Israelis and
Yeah,
the Palestinians,
Palestinian.
and things like that.
You know that fight seems to somewhat be going on for quite a long time. You know, when I was a child growing up in Jamaica, which I am still a child, guys, so don't even be like, you know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, so when I was back home and going to school, every 8 a.m. in the morning, I would know whether or not I'll be late for school, because at 8 o'clock on the dot, BBC has this thing that they come on. You know how they have their theme song? And it was literally a theme song at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the only thing I think they broadcast on that radio station was about the war, Palestine and Israel and stuff. So that fight has been going on for a long time. I'm just wondering who is going to win and who is not.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the time, the fight was actually quite big, right? And then I remember my sister came home one day, and then she's like, "Oh, we've got a school trip, right?"
Yeah.
And then she's trying to rub it in our faces, myself and my younger sister, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I'm looking to go. What do you guys think?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, do whatever you want to do." So anyway, we got to a point where in our whole entire school,
Yeah.
she was the only one that wanted to go.
Oh my gosh.
No word of a lie.
So hang on, this was as a result of the war that was
Exactly.
going on now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the year 10s took the letter
Yeah.
back home to the parents saying, "Hey, we've got a school trip, right?" And then, so the whole of the school, she was the only one that wanted to go. So eventually, I think the school did ask her, like, "Oh, do you have any siblings that might want to come with you?"
So now they're giving, is this buy one get one free? So hang on.
It might
So
as
this
well be.
school trip
Yeah.
that perhaps would have cost is now
Yeah.
okay. So it's undersubscribed. So obviously they've got to do something to promote
I mean,
it.
maybe they want to use us as a living sacrifice in heaven. We might end up being the lamb.
Exactly. Seeing that you're going to the Holy Land. Oh my gosh.
So basically that happened, right? And then she said, yeah. And then I was up for it.
Yeah. No, that was really good. Okay, guys, give me I'm just gonna play you a quick song, and I'll be back on here.
Hey, Peter Don.
When darkness is all around and I'm lost in its cloud, it's your love that surrounds. It's your love that surrounds. When darkness is all around and I'm lost in its cloud.
Obviously, guys, trust me, big tune. I didn't even want to drop that one just yet because I want to announce it properly. I'm telling you, that tune that is coming up there, right there. Anyway, let's go back to the buy one free. Buy one, get one half price or free. I don't even know how the story is going to end, but it's already sound as if we're onto a good deal. I just want to say a massive good evening. I've seen that you guys are joining in a bit late. Sister Wisdom, massive good evening. Aristat, you're back here. You see, you left some laughter in the studio, you know. Aristat, trust me, you weren't actually in the studio, but you left the spirit of laughter in this studio. Trust me, it's all over the place. It's just echoing. I've seen Sister Dutlin all the way over there in Jamaica. Good evening to you, ma. God bless you. God bless you. And Sister Amara as usual. Yes, let's go back to buy one, get one half price, or I don't know, whichever way.
Go back to the lamb.
Yes, let's go back to the sacrifice. Yes.
So basically now, she's come back and said, hey, the school are asking, do you want to, go on a trip?
I thought she was both bragging to you guys like a couple of days before.
Of course, but when she realized that she's by
No
once,
one's going.
she thought, okay.
Yeah.
So during that period, I remember thinking, what is the reason for me to go on this trip? Because you take the joke aside. After a while, you start to think, you know what? I'm 13.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking.
So you're in year 9 at that time.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, what would this mean for me as a believer?
Hang on. So were you a believer at that time at age 13?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, we give God thanks for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
May our children tap into this. Mike, I hope you're listening in the name of Jesus. Yes, go ahead.
So I was thinking to myself, what would this mean?
Yes.
Like, that took me back to, Sunday school, when I was much younger. And I'm, thinking about the story of Jesus being born in a manger. Thinking, the old story that you'd get taught as a child, what happened in the Bible, creation of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
When, Jesus died.
Yeah.
Calvary and things like that.
Yeah, because those are quite vivid picture at that age, isn't it?
Exactly.
It takes you through a place of imagination, I believe, and give you some sort of, it lets you explore your creative side because you're thinking of all these things that perhaps wasn't there, but you're adding into the picture, isn't it?
And that was the confusion at the time, thinking, young, I get some of the stories in the Bible, but could they be real?
Life.
Is it real?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. But anyway, after a while, I thought, you know what? This would be an amazing holiday and time as well.
Whilst you explore whether or not whilst we try and work out if these stories are actually real. Yeah.
So I said, myself and my younger sister, we said, yeah, we'll go.
Okay.
This time.
So this makes 3 of you
of us.
From your family.
Yes.
Going now. Okay.
From the old school.
From the whole school.
Yeah.
By the way, were you Catholic? Were you practicing? Were you Catholic?
No.
Okay.
Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
Yeah, I was born in a Catholic church when I was younger.
So hang on, wait. Okay. So you were born in a Catholic church.
Yeah.
And
over time.
Yeah.
Then, change over to Pentecostal.
Yeah. So over time, okay.
So I didn't really wear the white robe and holding the lantern. I didn't do none of that.
Okay, because I'm trying to create this picture. You see how you wanted to go to Israel and put a picture to what your imagination. I'm just trying to picture you whether or not you were wearing all of that and doing all of that as well. So No. Okay, yes.
So anyway, she went back to the school and said, hey, my siblings are happy to come along.
Okay.
And then the school said, okay, no problem. Everyone get to go for free.
And so, okay, all three of you
Yeah.
get to go for free on this
Yeah.
trip. Okay, yeah.
And these were trips that was costing
Yeah.
over £2,000 easily at the time.
Yeah.
We're talking
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, because school trips are quite, especially in the UK, school trips are...
Touches lives, renewing minds,
so at the time,
impacting
so it
nations.
should be free.
Yeah.
I remember my dad saying, yeah, just go. I'm thinking this guy wants to get rid of us. There was no like holding back. There's no, one stay in case anything happens. It's like, now all of you just go.
So the rest of the school, actually, the rest of the parents are saying no to this trip. but
Exactly.
Your family's saying
They
yes.
just go.
Okay.
I don't know what they're planning, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ended up going with other academies in UK.
Okay.
So we had like academies in Manchester, like in London, Lancaster, Newcastle. Each school had people that wanted to go on the trip. So we were
So
all
it was
meant
a
to meet.
joint trip now.
Exactly.
So was that the original plan?
That was the original plan in the
Okay.
hope that we would get multiple year 10s
Okay.
to come onto the trip.
Okay.
So myself and my sister were probably one of the youngest one, if not the youngest one, on the trip.
Okay.
Because the other school had a lot of people that wanted to go,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And majority of them were actually white. I recall myself, my sisters, and maybe 2 other black people
In his school?
in the whole trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we stood out because obviously not many
Yeah.
black people wanted to go at the time.
Yeah.
You know, black people, we hold on to this. Oh, this fight in Israel, you cannot go
You
to
cannot
Israel.
go, yeah. As a parent, though, you were quite apprehensive. Whether or not the trip is for Israel or wherever, though, you know, it's like my son come home and be like, "Oh, we're going on this school trip." You've got to analyze, like, where will you be sleeping? Who is going on this trip? Who is supervising you? You know, all of those things. So
Yeah.
we're
But
quite conscious about, yeah,
I do get it, but when it's a school trip,
yeah,
and it's a Catholic school for that matter, you should be able to have a bit of confidence in the sort of itinerary and the plan around the trip.
yeah,
It's going to be okay. And I think also, you know, being a Christian and having faith and the land that my parents have never been, they've heard of
yeah,
for whatever years of their life, their children get to go and explore that land. That in itself is taking an opportunity for them as a parent.
yeah. But I think irrespective of the trip, though, or wherever it's going, you would still have that apprehension of, hang on, what's happening here?
You will, but then that's when
It's like my
trust.
son coming home and saying, "No, we're going on a skating trip," and I'm thinking, "Hang on, I think your bones are too big for that." I think so, and so,
Yeah.
and so. That's just me naturally doing
Of course,
a
yeah.
risk assessment,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah, of
it?
course.
It's not necessarily where you're going or
Yeah.
whatever, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
just-
mean, I just think a
Yeah.
trust was put
yeah.
in place at the time to say, do you know what, go and, you know, explore what you can, have a good time.
Yeah.
And that was literally what happened. So we ended up going to the airport, got a flight to Tel Aviv,
Yeah.
in Israel. So we landed, a lot of us, on the plane.
So these are from different academies,
Different
across
academies.
the UK.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we ended up landing there. You know, the old coach went
Yeah.
to the hotel, and then every day we had like an itinerary.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, we were waking up at 6:30 in the morning for prayers. I wasn't having it.
So hang on. So you've been doing daybreak. Hang on, wait. So you've been doing daybreak before daybreak was established here.
I'm telling you,
Oh, thank you, Jesus. This church is a prophetic church for real.
we'll come to
Telling
that.
you.
We'll come to that. So I remember like we had to share a room. So they gave us like people to share rooms with.
Yeah.
For maybe safety measure. It wasn't older people, it was people with similar age range at the time. Then we'd get woken up in the morning. I used to dread it.
So hang on. So who would do the devotion?
So we would go to like a chapel.
Okay, so there is a place that you've actually, so
Exactly.
you've got to physically, you
Yeah.
see these people are getting up light on this daybreak. I think we need to start sending drones into
Yes,
these houses to see
absolutely.
if they're actually getting up and going to the
I'm telling you,
places where they're
absolutely.
supposed to go,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So there was a
Yeah,
specific place.
Yeah, you got woken up in the morning before breakfast. You're going to pray. And I'm
Wow.
saying these prayers are not half an hour prayer.
Hang on. Okay, Karen.
These are the prayer that if you don't have the strength to keep yourself alive, all you're going to be saying is amen and you're sleeping. Amen. And you'll be sleeping because you're obviously tired.
Long prayers.
Very long.
So they were actually structured.
They got like bishops that went on the trip as well with us.
Oh, so they're actually leading in
Leading.
prayers.
Yeah.
So I guess these are from the different schools that have gone, and they're taking it. Are they taking it in turns,
In
like doing
turns, yeah.
different?
So every day we had like, a bishop that would do prayer and, just put it in God's hands and the plans that we
Yeah.
have to go through.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's the first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you do your breakfast and then you get ready and then we have, itinerary for what we're going to do
Yeah.
on the day.
Wow. So what time does that? So after prayer, what does the itinerary?
So I think, with you have your breakfast 7:30 to about 8:30. You get picked up by the coach and you're going to a biblical site.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think one of the ones that we started off with was going to the Mount of Olives.
Okay. Wow.
Again, at the time, all of these things didn't really mean much
Didn't it?
because my knowledge wasn't at that level.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like, how are you going to tell a 13-year-old to come and tell you about what Mount Olive is?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a matter of making sure that I was awake to take it in.
You take it in.
What's
Yeah.
happening? And considering people around us were all adults,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they probably catered more for them
Than the
13
children.
13-year-old and 11-year-old.
Yeah.
So we were, at the Mount of Olives, where Jesus sent 2 disciples to go get a donkey. Matthew, Luke, John, they kind of mentioned that.
Spoke about it.
Where
Yeah.
he talks about going into the village in front of you, find a donkey tied, and then a colt with an untied one, bring it to me.
Yeah.
Where that was said,
So you were there.
I was there.
I would be looking for that donkey. I would be like, trust me, I would. What an opportunity! I would be like. So at that, I know you said you didn't really connect it at that time, did
Yeah.
you?
I didn't connect it because, to me, again, I didn't really know what it meant. And most, what do you call it? The Bible study for the kids in church.
Yeah.
They weren't really talking about that. It was all
Yeah.
about the manger, the Palm Sunday, Easter.
Okay, yeah.
Th-
I
that's-
feel like though. You know these Marpe children.
No.
I feel
The
like if these children were to,
Marpe is a different class.
they would know.
I feel like if you take Marpe, the kids alone,
Yeah.
Sunday school, to Israel now, they'll be the one telling the preacher,
Where?
Massa, I think you're wrong.
Never pointed.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that would be the case now. And again, maybe where I came from, the ministry or the preaching that I received at those times
Yeah.
might not have gone to those levels of detail. Whereas now,
Yeah.
I do envy those, those babies in Sunday school. 'Cause I'm like, you're learning so much and you're
Yeah.
going to be your knowledge is going to be
Wealthy.
well advanced
Yeah.
than, maybe other kids
Yeah.
out there, even within their schools, which is a good thing. So I don't think, children should.
It's a good thing if they know how to use it. They've got to use wisdom, because sometimes they can still get into trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I've seen situations where, children in Marpe actually, correcting teachers
Yeah, of
saying
course,
that,
of course.
hang on, I'm not sure. I'm like, don't be been doing that. Just chill.
Yeah, it's not every
Even
battle.
though you know,
Yeah.
just, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the teachers as well, in their own humility as well, they like, oh, I realize this child is so and so and so. Like,
It's not every
can't
battle
tell
you're going to
them.
win.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might
Yeah.
know more than your teachers. But
Yeah.
it's not to rub it in places. Sometimes just take a sit back
Yeah.
and then let what will be.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Yeah.
So we were there, Mount of Olives, and that place, the history that place carries.
Rich history.
It's a history of good and bad, because you've got the like of King Solomon worshiping idol,
Yes.
but then same in another light, that's where God went to do his last prayer
Yeah.
before he got betrayed. So you're thinking again. I didn't know this. It's only
Yeah.
like in the times when I reflected over the years.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
Yeah.
to be in a place of like good and bad. It's mind blowing.
It's different, isn't
Mind blowing.
it? It's different. Wow. So you talk about the itinerary then. So I guess for the week, was it a week you were there?
10 days.
Wow, that's quite a long trip, isn't it? Because usually school trips are a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 7 days or so, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite a long time. So over the 10 days then, what did it look like throughout that 10 days? Obviously you visited these different places and stuff like that and weren't necessarily connecting what you've read to those places at the time and stuff. But what other experience in terms of being in that region were you experiencing?
I think for myself, I think, when I was reflecting many years on, and you're sitting there thinking, where Christ existed like in physical form, and he went through all of these things. How have I managed to be here?
Hold that breath. Hold it right there. We're just gonna take a break. Here we go. Did you hear that question, guys? Wow, imagine that, guys. I've seen that Joseph has commented on they work in Israel. The real Joseph, they work in Israel.
We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight.
Obviously, we're soldiers in the armies, guys. Make sure we've got to keep on the fight because we've got to keep this thing going. We've got to keep it moving, going forward.
On Fire Radio, anytime, anywhere. Touch and love, renewing minds, impacting nations.
Staying back. We got to hold it up until we die.
Make sure you guys are up, you're dancing because obviously it's an army. The army don't sit down. We've got to keep on moving. Make sure you're moving. Make sure I see the fires. Let me know you're moving by putting up some fires online this evening. I need the interaction, guys. Go ahead.
Touch and love, renewing minds, impacting nations.
In the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord, say we are going up. We're going.
Wow, it seems like everybody is going up this evening. They ain't taking no check. We've seen that Deaconess is leading us as well. Then I've seen that Sister Faith as well. She said she's going up. Amara all the way over London. It seems as if you're running away from us as soon as hour starts and all of them over there. My gosh, Sister Keisha, you've joined in also.
On Fire Radio, anytime, anywhere. Touch and love, renewing minds, impacting nations.
Don't talk defeat to me. Don't talk defeat to me.
We've seen our mama in the building, Mama Yetunde. That is Emmy's mom. She's right here. Trust me, the studio is up, guys. You should be here. I know you are all dancing around your house, but trust me, this is where we're leaving from. We're going up higher.
On Fire Radio, anytime, anywhere. Touch and love, renewing minds, impacting nations. Radio. Anytime, anywhere. Renewing minds, impacting nations.
I am a child of God, and I've got the victory, and I've got the victory. Hey, don't you talk, no, no. Don't talk defeat to me. Don't talk defeat to me. I am a child of God, and I've got the victory, and I've got the victory. Hey, I am a warrior.
Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
In the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord, say, I am a warrior. Say, I am a conqueror. Come on, say, I'm an overcomer. Yeah. In the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord, say, I am a warrior.
Warrior. Let me see all the warriors out there. Make sure, let me see the fire signs coming in. All the warriors out there. Come on now.
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
In the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord, say, I am a warrior. Say, I am a conqueror. I'm an overcomer. In the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord, I am.
Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
Wow, there is so many warriors out there this evening. Trust me, guys, we're all warriors all over the place. I've seen my friends all the way over there in New York and all the way over there in Cayman Island. I just want to say a massive shout out to you guys. Thank you for joining in. You need to come and join the party online. Come and put the fires up online. Don't be texting. Come and put the fires up online. Or join on the app, guys. Go ahead. Just want to say a massive good evening. Wendy B all the way over there as well. Brother Celso, I just want to say good evening. Latoya Bentley, seems as if you joined the party late, or you must be jumping up and down all the way over there in Essex. Latoya, you need to come and visit us in Coventry, Marpe Assembly. Wow, I've seen our Reverend Jane online. She's a warrior as well. She's leading us. My gosh, I've seen Brother Michael Linguania. Trust me, I just want to say the warriors are out this evening. My God. I hope you've been listening to the interview, guys. Trust me, it's been great speaking to our guests, Emmanuel. There we go. Mr. Peter, you're back online now. Trust me, guys. So we're talking about the Holy Land and talking about your experience of actually visiting.
Yeah, absolutely. So the question just before we took a little break was around me thinking, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And I was looking at it like, 13, like, what am I doing here? This is not really what it should be.
Yeah. Whilst you were there during the period of your trip. Yeah.
After a while, you start to think, okay, what am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then that question just plays up in my mind for a while. Mm-hmm. And I remember I would sit there, right, wherever we were, whether it's a chapel, whether it's a site or whatever we're doing. I'll sit there and I'll think to myself, I'll try to play back in my mind, like, imagine all those years ago, like, Jesus Christ walked.
Okay, so now trying to connect the stories that you've read or you listen to.
Yeah. So
to
I'm
where
sitting
you
there
are.
like, what's going on?
Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
And then another thought will come to my mind and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason. But I don't know what reason that is.
Yeah.
And then I'll proceed again with, I'll catch up with myself.
Just going off.
Just you know.
So were they like snippets of reflection coming to you?
Yes.
But you trying to explore what those
what there could be. I've always been a reflective person.
Yeah.
So from young, I'm always like this moment right now.
Yeah.
I would always reflect on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I find that about you, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So no matter what I'm doing, I would come to reflect about it eventually.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, I said, you know what? I'm not here for no reason. I'm here for a reason. But I guess I'll find out at a later time.
Yeah.
Right? You don't always pray and get the answer immediately.
Yeah.
You pray and then you see the result at a later time.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So just having that mentality kind of got me through those confused period of time.
Yeah.
So anyway, we left Mount of Olives, just walking all the way down. Then we ended up going to Bethlehem.
Wow. He's actually gone to Bethlehem, the Bethlehem.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, most people will tell you is the...
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
They'll call it the nativity of Jesus Christ, meaning where Jesus was born.
Yeah, because they put it out in that sort of like...
It's a massive church,
Wow.
right? And you walk in. Bearing in mind, it wasn't just us as a school. It was multiple people all around the world.
Okay, yeah.
You had Chinese people that were Christian.
Yeah.
You had all sorts of colored of people that believed in Christ and what Christ stood for. And they wanted to come there to see.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like a joke or holiday thing. People were there.
No.
Because
People
had
spend
the
lots of
challenges.
money as well for
Yeah.
those trips, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because usually you'll find like packages that goes there, or sometimes you'll hear churches saying, "Oh, we're making a trip to Israel and stuff like that," isn't it?
So yeah, we were just there. Ended up going into this massive church. I can't recall what the name of it.
Touching lives, renewing minds,
you end up
impacting
at
nations.
the altar of the church,
Yeah.
almost like an arch.
Wow.
And under the arch, we've got like a star, right? With O's in it, a star, 14 shapes. And I think there is a biblical meaning to those 14 sort of shapes, right? And you can put your hands in it. And that's where the manger is.
So you put your hand in there.
Of course I did. So I can tell you today.
Oh, so you were okay. So you were operating prophetic time, knowing that you're gonna sit here today to tell me about it.
Higher matters from early. Higher matters.
Okay, then. So talk me through that.
So yeah, just ended up putting my hands
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
But then in my mind,
Touching lives, renewing minds,
if you're doing
impacting
it,
nations.
obviously it's a bit strange and weird
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're putting your hands into. Anything can be in there. Remember, it's the kid's mind.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and there's a queue of people. I can recall a lady. She was there for ages, and I think everyone's got like limited time to kind of
Was she praying?
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
bigger issue.
She was
Touching
a
lives,
moment.
renewing minds, impacting
So
nations.
put my hands in, and then took it back out quickly. So I remember I was just lost. I was confused. So I ended up obviously walking. You put your hands in, take your hands out, and you proceed on. And then everyone else went through their phase of putting their hands in. And then I remember there's a teaching at the time that one of the preachers was mentioning. And I think it relates back to Micah 5:2.
Yep.
Yeah. And which kind of mention, but you, Bethlehem, though you are small among the clan of Judah, out of you will come one who will be the ruler of Israel. Right? And looking back at it now, where I am, it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people at the time probably thought Jesus would come from like a massive city or something.
Yeah.
or look at how small
Yeah.
Bethlehem was.
Touching lives. Renewing
Jesus
minds.
Christ that would end
Impacting
up ruling
nations.
Yeah.
would come from there.
On Fire Radio.
So
Anytime,
when I sit down,
anywhere.
reflecting, you're thinking, wow, God is really mighty.
Yeah.
Jesus is like powerful. That's what you call powerful.
Wow.
To be able to come from like a small town and become
Yeah.
the ruler of a land,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the world, the nation. Yeah, the world.
And those are the things that on my bad days, this is where I can go back to and say, yo, like, God is powerful. And it's also written in the Bible. And to sort of be at the place where he was born. Those are the things that you can't take away from him.
Definitely.
Those would be your what would you call it? Your references. The same way when I'm going in battles of prayer,
Yeah.
I would pray to God and reference and put a reference in place.
Okay. Tying it back to something.
Exactly.
That's the reason why we ought to pray his words.
Exactly.
Because sometimes if we're praying and we're not praying his word, we're praying our word.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And we
Exactly.
pray amiss.
So I'm saying to God, you are the same person that was able to go back to a place, a location that you deemed was worthy
Yeah.
before you were arrested and betrayed. And whatever you prayed for then came to pass. Surely my prayer must be answered. Because I believe whatever you did in that place came to pass.
Yeah.
So my prayer, whatever I'm hoping for, whatever I'm desiring, must come to pass.
Yeah.
You were the same God that was born in a manger, or Jesus that was born in a manger. There must have been a reason why you're born in a manger. Why were you not born in sea? Why were you not born in hospital? So whatever that reason is, that must be the reason you must answer my prayer.
Yeah.
So that's when you start to take whatever you've experienced into your prayer life.
Yeah. So perhaps then it started off as an experience where you don't really necessarily understand
Yeah.
what was going on. However, you were having snippets of, hang on, the reason I'm here
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
they weren't constant.
Exactly.
But there was a questioning, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's what I try to use now, kind of going forward. So then from Bethlehem, end up in Hebron.
Hey. Oh dear. This time,
is where you got
this
your-
time is a progress. It's an enemy of progress, isn't it?
Time is going.
I'm telling you.
Where you've got the tomb,
Yes.
where Abraham, you've got Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah.
Yeah.
where they were buried. These are not just your normal people down the road.
No. Wow. These are not your normal people down the road, guys. It's not at all. Not at all. Not at all. However, we'll have to do some sort of wrapping up, which is very unfortunate because you haven't even touched. So we've got to come back.
Definitely.
We've definitely have to come back. My gosh. Can you imagine? A lot of us are yearning to go to the promised land. But as much as that might be important and one aspect, I think where we need to be aiming to is to get there and hear well done. And that's what we ought to aim for. Obviously, we're going to come back and we'll have to pick this up.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, it won't be next week because, next week is all night prior.
Yeah.
So we won't be here. But what do you want to leave? That's just a short snippet you've shared.
Of course.
Yeah. So we'll continue.
Definitely.
However, what would you like to leave with someone listening today?
I would say, if an opportunity
On Fire Radio. anytime,
You
anywhere.
might not be worthy enough of those opportunities.
Touching lives, renewing minds, impacting
Take
nations.
that opportunity. Because that opportunity will eventually help you one way or the other.
Wow.
That's the easiest way I can put it. Opportunities will come. Take it. Because eventually you're going to use it
Wow.
at a later period.
Wow. Well said, guys. Well said. Very well said. Absolutely well
Fire
said.
Radio.
Trust me, I see that the
Anytime,
interactions was
anywhere.
up. Shout out to you, my dear sister D over there in all. Just want to say a massive good evening. Good evening, Sir Philbert, all the way over there as well. Good evening, sir. And thank you so much to everyone who has joined in this evening. Guys, it's not about a geographical location. We're aiming to get to that place where we hear well done. I want to hear him say well done from before I even out the gate. You know, I want to hear him say well done from way over there. So that's the place we ought to aim to get to. But we haven't finished this conversation. Obviously, we're going to be back. It's not going to be next week. It's going to possibly be the week after. So make sure that you join in. This has been an awesome experience for our brother to come and share with us. You know?
I send the
make
devil
sure
in
that
a
you
trouble
join in.
now.
Remember to share the link with your
Now
friends
that
and
I
your
know.
family, because trust me, the devil is in real trouble. We ain't stopping. We're storming the
You've
gate. We're
given
going
me
to the gate.
power.
We're taking the fight to him. He ain't looking
You've
for us
given
no
me
more.
authority.
That's the reason why this evening I'm saying that
Jesus.
we're conquerors. We are more than conquerors.
Oh,
More
Lord.
than conquerors.
Fire
So
Radio.
let me see all the conquerors out there. I've seen Stevie.
Like a flood,
Stevie K.
and thought I'd
Let's
lose hope,
well done.
going to
Well
toil
done.
and
Josie
give up.
said,
Your
God
spirit
bless
reminded
you.
me
God bless you,
of my
Amara.
first love,
Please.
the power you gave me through
Share the
your
song.
blood. You clothed me with
Ah,
righteousness.
Amara, tell you what, you definitely have to join in. You've got to join
Bless
in
me
week
with the
after if you want to
power
hear that
to tread
song.
upon
I'm
scorpions,
holding
I'm already
it. It's one of
a
those
winner.
fire bullets when it comes towards you. I don't know
I'm
what's
more
going to
than a
happen.
conqueror, more than a conqueror, more
Have a
than
good evening. Have a blessed evening, each and every one of you. Thank you for joining. And make sure you're here. We're not here next week because we've got all night prayer. So if you want to join us for all night prayer as well, go ahead and do so. It will be live on YouTube. So join us on YouTube for the Marpe.
I'm more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, I'm more than a conqueror. Sometimes feeling troubled and don't know what to do. Problems piling up, everything coming at you. But encourage yourself as your spirit is renewed. Cry out, Abba Father, He'll see you through. Hey, don't look left nor right, don't you lose focus. God's about to deliver and the promises made us. Ears of the King and those giant ears with Jesus. If God is for us, you tell me who is against us. More than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, that's who I am. I'm more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, that's who I am. Say I'm more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, that's who I am. I'm more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, more than a conqueror, that's who I am. You've given us the power over the indwelling of sin. Oh Lord Jesus, took my filthy rags and you made them righteous. Took my old things away, gave me a new day. Hear what I say. I know you call me son, I was weak, you made me strong, so I must sing this song, Lord. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. That's who I am. Say I'm more than a conqueror, Jesus. Through your blood, Lord, Lord, Lord. More than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. That's who I am. More than a conqueror. Hey, let's help somebody now. Let's help somebody. Help somebody. Somebody just say conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. Just say conqueror. Speak it over your life. Conqueror. Say I'm more than a conqueror. I am more than a conqueror. More than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror.
lives, renewing minds, impacting nations.
On Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.